So you're thinking about buying a C5 Corvette and you want to know the cost beyond the price tag. So how much does it cost to maintain, fuel, insure, and modify one of these cars? Well, today I'm answering all those questions, plus some that you might have not thought about, so stay tuned. What's up guys, it's your boy Gabe with Mile High Misfits. Today I'm going over exactly how much money I spend on my C5 Corvette to keep it on the road. I'm also going to give you guys some average numbers because my costs might be a little bit different compared to yours, so I want to give you guys the best, most accurate data possible. Right off the bat, we're going to talk about purchase price. This is going to depend on several factors including year, trim, mileage, and condition. High mileage base models can go anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, and the Z06 can go all the way up to $27,000. Pristine examples and special editions can push the limit even further. My C5 Corvette is a 1999 base model in Arctic White with a 6-speed manual transmission and 95,000 miles. I paid about $14,500 for mine. But remember guys, the purchase price is just the beginning. Next on the list is insurance. This is going to be a large chunk of your yearly cost for your C5 Corvette, and this has a lot to do with your location, age, driving record, and also your coverage type. So it's really hard for me to give you an exact estimate for how much this is going to cost, but the best way to get a good estimate is going to be to call your insurance company, let them know what car you're looking at, and they'll give you the exact number that you're going to have to pay. But on average, to insure a C5 Corvette, you're probably going to be paying somewhere between $500 to $1,500 per year, which is about $42 to $125 per month. For reference, I'm a 26-year-old living in Colorado with a clean driving record, and I have full coverage on my C5 Corvette. I pay about $67 per month for mine, which is about $804 per year. Next is fuel costs, and something to keep in mind is that this car takes premium fuel and she drinks a lot of it. On average, you're going to be getting about 18 to 28 miles per gallon with the C5 Corvette depending on what mods you have and how you drive. So this premium fuel is going to add up in cost. So let's do some quick math. If you drive 10,000 miles per year and pay an average of $4 per gallon for premium fuel, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 per year just for gas. I drive mine about 3,000 miles per year because it's not my daily driver, and premium fuel is about $3.79 near me. I probably get closer to 20 miles per gallon, so I spend about $600 per year on gas. Obviously, this is a huge difference if you're going to be daily driving your car or if it's just a weekend warrior, so keep that in mind as well. Now is maintenance costs. Maintenance is a little tricky because your car could do really well for years without needing much maintenance, or it could need everything on day one. So it's kind of hard for me to give you guys a number, but let me give you guys my best guess. Here's a few things that you're going to need to do for sure. Oil changes, which are $50 to $100 every 5,000 miles. Tires and alignments, which cost around $800 to $1,500 every 20 to 30,000 miles. Brakes, which cost about $300 to $800 every 25 to 50,000 miles depending on how you drive. A new battery, which is $150 to $250 every 4 to 5 years. And then some common repairs, which include the column lock bypass, fuel pumps, valve cover gaskets, pop-up headlight motors, etc., which is going to cost you about $500 to $2,000 per year. And keep in mind that these are just some rough averages. And as far as maintenance, there's going to be some other costs associated with this, like fluid flushes, leak fixes, pulleys and belts, clutch replacements if you go with the manual option, water pumps, bushings, spark plugs and wires, and all kinds of other stuff. Depending on how well kept your car was, you might not have to do any of this stuff for a while, but it's still a good idea to check these things when you're doing your test drive. And these prices are estimated if you got a shop to do the work for you, but if you do the work yourself, you can save a ton of money. I do all of my own work and maintenance on my Corvette, so I don't spend anywhere near this amount. In the last year, I've spent $952.14 on maintenance and repairs for my Corvette. This includes a new radiator, new key fob, oil changes, coolant temperature sensor, intake manifold gaskets, new reverse gear, reverse synchro blocker ring, shift fork pads, trans and diff fluid changes, spark plugs, and spark plug wires. And let me tell you guys, if I hadn't done my own work on this, it would have been so much more expensive. Now, before moving on to the next item on the list, I wanted to let you guys know that if you're finding this video helpful, make sure to help me out as well and subscribe to Mile High Misfits because that is the best way to support the channel. But without further ado, let's get back into it. Next on the list is modifications and performance. Let's be honest, most people who own a C5 Corvette don't want to keep their car entirely stock, and these modifications can range from mild to wild. But here's a couple of the more common upgrades and their associated costs. You could get a new exhaust system for $500 to $2,000, a cold air intake for $300 to $500, wheels and tires for $1,500 to $3,000, coilovers for $800 to $2,500, and finally a cam and tune for $2,500 to $4,000. It's easy to spend an extra $5,000 to $10,000 if you are chasing performance with this car, but if you don't plan on modifying your Corvette at all, then you can completely ignore this section. For my car, I really haven't done a whole lot of modifications yet, but I plan on doing more this year. So far, I've only installed long tube headers, an X-pipe, and an HPI diff mount on my car, and these were all sponsor items through my YouTube channel, so total for all of this, I only paid $238.64. Next is depreciation. The good news is that the C5 Corvette is pretty much at rock bottom as far as depreciation, so this really isn't going to affect you too much. As long as you take care of your car and you don't beat the crap out of it, your C5 Corvette is probably going to hold its value pretty well. And in the coming years, the C5 has the potential to rise in price a little bit, so you might not lose any value. Now for the part that you guys have all been waiting for, which is the total cost. I'll start with the averages, and then I'm going to sum up the total amount that I've spent on my car in the last year, and then we're going to compare the two. I want to give you guys a baseline, so I'm going to leave the modification costs out, but then depending on what modifications you plan on doing to your car, you can add those in later. So if you add insurance costs, fuel, maintenance, and your yearly registration cost, we'll estimate this at about $150. On average, you'll be spending about $3,255 to about $6,850 per year on your C5 Corvette. And of course, you'll have to add modification costs to this if you plan on modifying your car. Now this year for my Corvette, I spent a lot less than this because this isn't my daily driver, and again, I do my own maintenance. After adding my insurance costs, fuel, maintenance, and my yearly registration fee, I've spent about $2,506.14 this year. And now adding my modifications cost to this, I've spent a grand total of $2,744.78 on my Corvette. And of course, next year it's going to be much more expensive because I'm going to be installing my cam, and that's a bit pricey. But there you have it. That's exactly how much money I spent on my C5 Corvette in the last year, and how much you can expect to spend on your C5 Corvette year over year. But if your experience is different, let me know in the comments below how much money you spend per year on your Corvette. But as always, if you enjoyed the content for today, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for future content. I'll catch you guys next week. Later.